So Siri just cleared PMP exam and she passed it. So first of all, Siri, congratulations from the entire project management community and welcome to the top 2% of the population.
Thank you.
So Siri, why don't you share us your journey? How you did it? What was the reason behind doing PMP?
Sure. So I started considering getting my project management professional when I first started working professionally. So I'm 25, and I've been working since I graduated college. And when I got to like the certain number of years, because you need a certain number of hours, right? I knew I wanted to join PMP, and I started actually my whole studying back in December of 2020. And I was pretty much set to take my exam in December, and then I realized I took a few practice exams and I was like, I am not ready. So I was like, let me slow down. Let me make sure I fully understand the concepts. And this is when I actually went to YouTube and I found your channel. And it was so helpful. Your videos were amazing. Like the coaching calls. I actually reviewed your 2 hour the video called Everything You Need to Know About PMP in 2 hours. I watched that twice this week, and I swear that's all I needed for me to pass. And I just took my exam this morning. It was super early. I took it at 5 a.m. and I just cleared it and I got my results and I was above target in all three categories.
Wow.
So
Wow.
very excited. I don't have a printout, but I can show it to you on my iPad. Hopefully you guys can see.
Yeah, I can see the green line here. That is beautiful. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that is,
very,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that is. Okay, see, so let's talk about a little bit more about the preparation. So which kind of mocks you did while you were preparing for the exam?
Sure. So I actually did a 1 week boot camp with the Project Management Academy, and they gave a couple of process exams, which are really good. Except for the one thing I noticed that I wasn't doing so well in is it was more like on the old method of the exam, so I didn't really incorporate a lot of agile. And then what I really did for mock exams was I just use your coaching calls, and I use those as my mock exams.
Okay.
Um, and I basically, whenever I did my mock exams using my software, I would time myself, but I would kind of consider the all the breaks and I would have and everything like that. And I would try to focus in on just a couple of topics that I was really struggling with. Right now in my work, I work a lot with agile. So like to me, that's very much something I know. And I struggled a lot more with like the whole procurement management and like and conflict management. So your that's where your videos came to help.
Okay, so coaching calls became your mock exam, and the topics which you were having issue that becomes like journey videos. They helped you. Okay, so Siri, tell me about this. Now let's talk about the real exam. You did it
Okay.
very early. You did it
Yeah.
very early. So that's a strategy actually most of the students nowadays are using because at very early you will not have issue of internet. Everyone is
Yeah.
sleeping, no sound, even in your home, everyone is sleeping. The internet sounds good. That's a good strategy and highly recommended. And you gave that in home, right?
Yeah, so I took it in my home. My honestly, my two options were either 5 a.m. today or 9:45 p.m. on Sunday night. And I I don't like to stay up late, so I decided to take it at 5 a.m. this morning, and it worked out perfectly.
That's
My
a good.
dog is still sleeping, so I don't have to worry about her barking or anything. And it went by really, yeah, it went by really fast. I wasn't too worried about the time or anything like that. And I managed to pass it, and you'll see my dog in the background
Yeah,
right
I saw that. My
now.
dog was coming, I saw that too. Okay, so Siri, let's talk about the exam a little bit. So how much the exam was agile and how much the exam was predictive?
So I feel like for me, a lot of it was hybrid questions. I had a lot of hybrid focus questions, maybe like 30%, or it was probably split like 35% hybrid, 25% agile, and like the rest of it was predictive. Um, and then I did have probably 8 to 10 of the drag and drop questions.
Yeah, okay, that is the same sequence. We are getting drags and drop questions. And and then did you watch the drag and drop coaching calls?
I did. The one that you had, I think last week or the week before, that one was perfect. It was like perfect timing for me to watch that as
So
well.
that basically that cover the drag and drop questions. So for the agile part, you read the agile guide.
Yeah, so I read the Agile guide. I also practice it in my current work right now. So it was pretty easy for me to pick up on those. and I've done a few different um, like agile videos, as like I found on YouTube.
Okay, okay, that's good. That's good. What about the risk area? How many questions were from like last night, 2 days ago, actually, two students cleared. They were saying like the exam was more toward stakeholder communication, risk, and resource. That's it. What about
Yeah.
you?
So for me, I feel like a lot of my questions were stakeholder communication, resource management, and like it was questions like what should you do first in this situation, or how
Okay,
could you have avoided this in the future.
okay, okay. So, what were the like? What were more area that targeted about risk over procurement, scope, schedule, cost? What were the more areas that were targeted?
So I noticed that there was a lot of questions about schedule management. So it was saying, like, for example, it would give you the SPI, and it would say, well, what should you do in this situation?
Oh, now that's a new thing. So the questions were on schedule, SPI. Do you have to do any kind of calculation in the
I
exam?
didn't have to do any calculations, but I noticed like it got like maybe, I know you had said like in one of your recent videos, like maybe there's like two like, questions, but I noticed I got like maybe five or six. So I mean, it was more like, oh, like the SPI is, 0.95. What should you do?
Okay.
Um, so I'm sorry. I feel like I just took the exam and like everything I learned just like it's just
Yeah,
gone.
that's the normal thing because
Yeah,
you get overwhelmed. That's a normal thing. So
yeah,
there were five questions regarding formula, but they were more like easy SPI and CPI.
yeah. There were more like what should you do if the cost performance index is like
Okay, okay,
1.25.
that makes
And
sense. So we didn't get the questions on TCPI. That's okay. That's the
no, no, I didn't get anything on TCPI,
yeah
which is
because
good because I
yeah,
don't know.
two of my students like in February or March, I don't remember. They do get the questions on TCPI. They were able to do it, but that's a difficult question to do. Oh, any critical path question?
No, there was a couple that was like, if you choose to take this approach, you might affect your critical path. Like, what should you do in this situation? But there was nothing on like calculating.
Yeah,
I
me.
was very happy. There was really no questions on like there. I didn't get like any net present value questions, like calculate the depreciation, or I didn't get any calculate the critical path, or like what is. I didn't get like any of those kind of calculation questions. I didn't really use my calculator at all, which I was really happy about.
Yeah, you were happy. I was going to ask you, were you happy or sad? Because one of my students, she was very good in maths and critical path. She cleared the exam and she was unhappy. There was no questions on critical path. I said that I told you categorically there will be no questions. That the
Yeah.
probability is very less. Okay. So when we talk about agile, you are agile practitioner. So the questions in agile, the role of scrum master, the product owner, the team, what they were asking directly questions about the role of these people.
So they were asking more like your organization is converting over to an agile methodology. Like, how would you help push that push that methodology through, or like what would you consider to establish that methodology within your team? I also noticed I did get a lot of questions about like virtual teams. There was a couple questions that were specifically about, oh, like your team is located in different countries.
It
So
has
I
to,
noticed that
you,
was the theme.
you took training from Project Academy. They are ATP, na?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, so if you have gone to the ATP material, the virtual team is a lot of big topic in the ATP material. So that's why, because they are making the exam according to ATP material, so it has to be questions on the virtual team. Okay, so there was no direct questions regarding the role of a product owner, scrum master, nothing like that. And there is no direct questions like sprint retrospective. What do you do in
Oh,
sprint?
so I like the sprint retrospective, like there were questions like, um, for example, like if a stakeholder is upset that they didn't get the right information, it was like, what should you do to make sure this doesn't happen again? But there was nothing like what are the 5 steps or anything about the sprint
Okay, okay.
retrospective.
That's a good thing to know. That's a good thing to know. Okay, Siri, since you watch my YouTube videos, you know my last question. What is the one last advice you will give to all the PMPs that can help them to clear PMP?
So I think my advice, and I'm really glad I did this, was when I had the opportunities for the breaks, definitely take the break and get up out of your seat, go into a different room. I walked outside, I went to the bathroom, just move out of your area. And so you're just kind of refreshing your mind because when you come back, you're like, okay, I stood up, like I drank some water, and you're ready to go again. So definitely take advantage of those breaks. I know they're only 10 minutes, but it's really nice. Just, you can unwind. I I actually took your advice and I started like deep breathing and meditating in between just to calm myself, because I noticed that honestly my biggest worry going into it is I was really scared that I was going to fail, and then I was just like, okay, yeah, he's right. Like I just need to meditate. I need to relax, and everything will be okay.
Good.
Um,
Okay. So
so
say
that's
yeah, you were able to complete the exam on time?
Yes, I was. So I started it at 5 a.m. and I ended it around, I actually ended early, like 7:30. So it only took me 2.5 hours versus the
Yeah, that I
4.
can see because since you are like you just graduated few years back, so and
Yeah.
you can speak English very good. So though you don't have the issue that most of the people from Southeast Asia, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh have, they when try to read the sentence, most of the time they get lost. So you didn't
Yeah.
have that issue. Okay, so say congratulations once again and
Thank you.
best of luck for your future.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I couldn't have done it without you. So it's actually a really great week for me. I just got my MBA as well this same week.
So that's a
So
great week for you.
very excited. Yeah, big week.
Celebrate the week.
I will. All right.